They revered her as the epitome of maternal devotion, a beacon of love and care in their community. But beneath that radiant exterior lay secrets that would soon shatter lives and leave a town in mourning. How does a seemingly loving parent descend into someone capable of unspeakable horrors? Welcome to Vigil Files. I'm Vigil Stark, and today we're diving into one of Idaho's most disturbing cases, the Lori Vallow Daybell mystery. As we uncover each layer of this tragic story, I invite you to piece together the clues with me and understand how such darkness could hide behind a mother's smile. Rexburg, Idaho, 2019. Picture a peaceful community where neighbors knew each other by name, where children played freely on tree-lined streets, and where families shared their lives openly. Here stood Lori Vallow Daybell, a woman whose presence brightened church gatherings, whose support never wavered in her children's activities, and whose home buzzed with the warmth of family celebrations. But something was shifting beneath this perfect surface. Those who knew her best began noticing subtle changes that seemed innocent at first, but would later reveal themselves as harbingers of tragedy. September 2019 marked the beginning of the end. Tylee and J.J. Vallow vanished without a trace, leaving their community reeling. As we explore their last known movements, ask yourself, what signs were missed? What warnings went unheeded? The digital trail left behind tells a chilling story. Lori's messages became increasingly disturbing, filled with references to dark spirits and apocalyptic missions. Her phone's location data would later reveal frequent visits to Chad Daybell's property, visits that would prove crucial to understanding this case. But how does someone's worldview become so distorted? Documents reveal Lori's descent into radical beliefs, a framework where family members became zombies, and where maternal love gave way to something far more sinister. Think about it. At what point did these beliefs override the basic instinct to protect one's children? June 2020 brought the breakthrough that would confirm everyone's worst fears. The discovery of remains on Chad Daybell's property ended the search, but opened a floodgate of questions. How had this happened in plain sight? What could have prevented this tragedy? The horrifying details emerged through careful forensic investigation. 7-year-old J.J. Vallow was found bound with duct tape, wrapped in plastic, and buried in a pet cemetery on Chad Daybell's property. 16-year-old Tylee Ryan's remains were discovered nearby, dismembered and burned. The children had been missing since September 2019, while Lori continued to claim they were safe, even going as far as telling people JJ was visiting relatives. The timeline revealed a calculated series of events. Shortly after the children disappeared, Lori and Chad fled to Hawaii, where they married on a beach while the children's whereabouts remained unknown. They spent months there, showing no apparent concern for the missing children, even as authorities and family members desperately searched for answers. Evidence showed that Lori had collected her missing children's Social Security benefits for months after their deaths. Text messages between Lori and Chad revealed their shared apocalyptic beliefs, including the idea that certain people, including the children, had become dark, or zombies, that needed to be removed from this world to fulfill their twisted religious mission. The investigation uncovered that Alex Cox, Lori's brother, had played a crucial role in the children's deaths. Cell phone data placed him at the burial sites on key dates. Tragically, Alex Cox died in December 2019 from what was ruled as natural causes, taking many answers to the grave. The aftermath left Rexburg shattered. A community once known for its tight-knit bonds now grappled with an unspeakable truth. Evil had walked among them, hidden behind a mother's smile. Friends and neighbors struggled to reconcile the Lori they knew with the darkness she harbored. Their testimony paints a picture of collective grief, a community forever changed by what they failed to see. What emerged from the investigation was a pattern of red flags that, in hindsight, seemed obvious. The apocalyptic rhetoric, the demonization of family members, the sudden, secretive behavior. These warning signs now serve as crucial lessons for communities everywhere. When do religious beliefs cross the line into dangerous delusion? At what point should concerns become action? The experts who studied this case point to a crucial truth. Extreme ideologies don't take hold overnight. They grow in the shadows of normalcy, feeding on isolation and unchallenged beliefs. Lori's transformation from devoted mother to something unrecognizable didn't happen in a vacuum. It was a gradual descent that left traces along the way. The evidence tells us something profound about human nature, about how belief systems can warp even our most fundamental instincts. Lori's conviction that her children were zombies didn't arise suddenly. It grew from seeds of extremist thinking, nurtured by isolation and reinforced by others who shared her distorted worldview. What can we learn from this darkness? The first lesson is clear. We must question what seems unquestionable. When someone we know begins speaking of dark spirits or cosmic missions, when their language about loved ones turns strange and hostile, we must find the courage to intervene. This case demonstrates how easily truth can hide behind familiar faces, how darkness can wear the mask of devotion. The court documents, witness testimonies, and evidence trail paint a picture not just of crime, but of collective failure. A failure to recognize, to question, to act before it was too late. The legacy of this case isn't just in its tragic ending. It's in the questions it forces us to ask ourselves. How well do we know our neighbors? What mysteries lurk behind the smiles we see every day? When do we trust our instincts that something isn't right? Let this story serve as more than just another true crime case. Let it be a wake-up call, a reminder that evil doesn't always announce itself with obvious signs. Sometimes it hides in plain sight, in the most unexpected places, behind the most trusted faces. As we close this investigation, remember, awareness is our strongest weapon against such tragedies. If you notice concerning changes in someone's behavior, don't dismiss them. If something feels wrong, speak up. Share this story not for its shock value, but for its power to educate and prevent. These weren't just case files and evidence photos. They were real lives, real losses, real warnings for us all. The true horror isn't just in what happened, but in knowing it could happen again if we fail to learn from it. Don't forget to subscribe to Vigil Files and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more in-depth investigations like this one. Share your thoughts below. What warning signs do you think we should never ignore? Your perspective could help others recognize similar patterns before tragedy strikes. Thank you for joining me in this investigation. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay aware, and remember, the darkest truths often hide in the most ordinary places.